r/askreddit, Night Owls of Reddit, what's the scariest thing you've heard at night? Sad to hear the regret on the way down. I'm sorry you had to witness this. Rabbit being caught by a big ass bird. Rabbit screams are terrifying. Agreed. I heard one scream and went outside thinking I was going to find a human baby. I heard baby rabbits getting eaten by dogs. Squeaky toys are very accurate sounds turns out. What type of bird was that? Oh gosh, rabbit screams are horrifying. I had a little black bunny called Welly when I was younger. I only heard her scream once when she escaped and I caught her just as she was about to disappear into the neighboring field, but that was enough. It was awful. My man in the bathroom blowing his nose, but he was in bed with me and it was 3 a.m. And my purse dumped on the floor and any medications in a prescription bottle from the bathroom gone with the back door left wide open. Gotta be quiet, gotta be sneaky, gonna steal some pills, sniff. My BF at the time and I were on our way across the house to the garage, pitch black, total silence, dead of night. He was walking in front of me. I heard this horrifying, otherworldly scream/growl/hiss. It started some distance behind me and to the left, rushed right past my head, and faded some distance in front of me and to my right. It was so loud my ears physically hurt. My boyfriend didn't hear anything. People of Reddit, I need theories about this. Foxes. Their screeching is something out of a horror film. A high-pitched scream, the thud of a body hitting dirt, and crying, in that order. I was sure that, somehow, one of my kids had fallen out the window. Turned out to be cats fighting. One knocked the other off the fence, then they growled at each other about it. Cat screams are almost human. I once prepared myself to put an end to a quarrel that was happening in the streets, turns out that two cats were screaming at each other. LOL. Mountain lion roar while tent camping. ID Puma pants. I was up at 3 a.m. once when someone jiggled my door handle like they were trying to force their way in. Luckily the door was locked, but that was the scariest thing I ever experienced at night. I heard a growl when I'm in a very small town, less than 1,000, I went to check it out and I saw a full-blown bear on my doorstep. Not just a mild case of bear, no. The antenna of the van we had swinging back and forth on a windless night. Peacocks breeding. They scream like a woman in trouble. I had a pack of coyotes right outside my house. You hear them all the time around here, but I have never once seen them. One night I just heard this noise that sounded like a bunch of bloodthirsty hungry dogs just outside my house. Again, I could hear them but couldn't see them no matter which window I looked out. Pretty spooky, like hearing a movie monster and you can't find it, you expect it to just pop up behind you at any moment. I remember camping once, it was late at night, around 1 a.m. I heard terrifying screams and asked some locals the next day, turns out foxes just screech like women/a child. Knock knock. Who's there? Okay, elaborate. I was having sleep paralysis and I heard the Super Mario Galaxy low health beeping alarm. There was also squirrels on the roof above me for months. I thought they were in the walls, and whenever my mom would come on the room, the squirrels would be quiet. I didn't think she believed me. Also, I'd be hearing someone whisper my name sometimes or screaming. A blood-curdling scream, like a woman getting murdered. It was just a fox in the garden. Worst sound ever emo. Couple years ago I took my little pup outside at 3 a.m. to potty and had the biggest scare of my life when I heard a haunting scream. Thought I was being haunted by the screaming woman. Turned out to be a fox calling for its babies. Got to watch them grow and play on our driveway, cute little swipers. Poor fox was just lonely and looking for a mate. In my old house, a loaf of bread slipped off the side and sent a bowl crashing to the tiled floor in the kitchen. Was probably the cat on side that had caused it, but definitely shit me up, especially when I was just drifting off. Another time was when the shower curtain rail fell in the bath. It was a tension rod. I had took it down earlier in the day when cleaning, but it made such a noise. A cat in heat. OMG, it's the worst sound on earth. It's when you hear nothing that it truly scares me. Having been camping a bunch, when the wildlife stops making noise, that's when you should be worried. Coyote sniffing around my tent. Human walking around another night. Fat ass raccoon climbing a tree beside the tent. That was hilarious when I found it was just Sir Chubbs, thought it was a bear at first with all the noise. My dad going unconscious in the room above me hitting the floor and my mom screaming. A repetitive creak. Thought it was a dream. Until I woke up the next morning to find my window damaged from the outside. Someone had attempted to break in. Edit, whoops, this said night owls. Just realized my answer doesn't really make much sense cause I was in and out of sleep at that time this happened. Hahaha, I've been up all night, I need sleep. A tornado. Like a freight train in your front yard plus the sound of your house shaking on its foundation. There are no atheists during a tornado, you're praying to something. First time I ever heard foxes playing at night. Gunshots in dark getting closer and closer. My alarm clock. A weirdo guy prob hyped on drugs whistling really loud and just walking around at like 3:30 a.m. Screaming. Sounds in the attic. Being a night owl, I hooted and peed myself. I'm hearing scratching from the attic right now. Beeping coming from downstairs, turns out the fridge was left open. No dogs barking. I miss them. 2 a.m., in my room on the computer, and all of a sudden I hear multiple people chanting outside, like the kind you hear in a movie before they sacrifice someone. Turns out there was a college sorority that lived in a house behind ours doing some dumbass initiation ritual for their new pledges. Oh, that happens around here all the time. I don't know if it was initiation though. That's what they want you to think. They actually were sacrificing someone to the devil. I was working night audit at my hotel when I heard someone yelling fuck into our atrium lobby. Then a sound like a crack of thunder. I'll never forget watching a man jump from 9 stories down into our lobby and hitting the banister on the way down. I ended up quitting the next day and never went back.